enjoyed Lost Art. I loved the opening sequence where they really amp up how special and unique this place is, how it's a destination and it's off the beaten path, and just really gets you excited. Um, and and then getting to learn about Bob and his just true passion for art was just really lovely, and getting to hear about his travels to Russia, getting his process for purchasing art. He's not necessarily just looking for, okay, what can sell, what's a good deal. I mean, that's part of it, but also it was, I really like the artist. I had a good relationship with them and I wanted to support them. And then in turn, getting to see how far that money really went in Russia and how far it went to provide for their families and how it totally changed the course of their lives, because the economy was just in shambles. There was no money, there was no food. And so he was like almost a hero to these people coming in and buying up their treasures. And he just gets so much joy from it, and I love that he's still in touch with these people years and years later, and they're all kind of part of this art family. So I really enjoyed learning about this. I liked learning about the history and the culture of the time, from when these paintings were created. And yeah, there's just so much more to the art world and the styles of painting, and the subjects of painting that are so related to what's going on in the zeitgeist of where you are. So I just thought this was really fascinating. I could feel Bob's passion coming through the camera, and I think that, his life's work and his life's projects is just something to be so incredibly proud of. And I think that having this documented is also really special and will help carry his legacy on in the future.
I really liked Lost Art. I liked this main guy, this art seller. I think he's a very good subject, and he's and him and his world is very interesting subject matter. I always say the strength of a documentary rises and dies on the subject matter, and like using this guy as like a vessel to explore this bigger world of art buying and like art valuations and that whole history was a good narrative technique, and I think it worked really well. I really like the interview shots where like we're in the studio or wherever, but they were really well lit and really well composed. And I think, a documentary, it's really easy to just get basic interview shots, but I think you could tell that they put thought and time into these shots, and they really paid off. And I think it added to the overall story. So overall, really well done. So good job.
Lost Art was very, very intriguing. Uh, it definitely scratched a historical itch I had, in the sense that I got to learn a lot about something very, very specific, yet somehow extremely intriguing, which is the concept of potential lost art during the collapse of the Soviet Union. It's such a specific concept, yet it had me hooked the entire time. Because it also has that aspect of, I'm probably going to use the wrong word for it, but like lost media, in the sense of, lost media would be more of a current kind of form of it, but just lost works, where you have things that may not seem important today, but then add 2 to 3 decades to it, and now it's gained a lot of value, especially for the fact that no one knows where it is. And so you have this guy who went to Russia during the collapse of the Soviet Union and just bought as much art as he could. And now, decades after the collapse of the Soviet Union, these lost works of art now have tripled in value because of the fact that they have historical value to them. And that's a very interesting topic, and I'm very glad I watched this one.
I thought this was fascinating. Um, I know that in times of war and in times of political struggle and whatnot, in a country, things like art and museums can get robbed and can get, kind of looted and things like that, where art can get stolen and it can get just completely taken apart, and you can lose a lot that way. I think historically that's something that everyone's kind of aware of, but thinking it in terms of just when something like the Soviet Union just absolutely collapsed, and not necessarily like a full-out war like World War II, for example, because I know that the Nazis looted a ton of art. I never really thought about just when a country collapses and what happens then. So I thought that was really interesting. It was really fascinating to learn that these people would just kind of show up with all this cash, and how they would be able to move the art so easily, I suppose. I thought it was really, really interesting to learn about.
So I was just super fascinated by lost art throughout the entire thing. I thought it was a super interesting story historically, and I think you guys did a really great job of explaining kind of the historical context of what was going on in Russia, and how this art collector kind of made his living off of that, and also, his experiences in Russia were super fascinating to learn about. And I think one of the strongest things about the documentary was how high energy it felt. I think it's just a testament to your guys' editing abilities. I thought the editing was super, just kept me really intrigued and interested the whole time, and just kind of elevated the story. And I thought it was super interesting just to hear about his travels. I loved how you guys showed kind of his pockets of money and how he traveled during that time. And I mean, I love seeing all the paintings as well. And this is just a story. It's such a great find for a documentary, and I would love to see this, translated into a feature film. I think it would be really exciting. So I think you guys did a really great job. So congrats.
This was incredible. I cannot believe that there is this building filled with thousands of pieces of art in a remote place in Tennessee. What a fascinating thing to make a film about. I'm floored by this story. Completely floored. The direction was spectacular. The people that you brought in to talk about this place and what it is was incredible. The line of questioning of these people really helped to guide the storytelling. I loved the cinematography. So beautiful. The lighting was really well done. And just the direction and the editing they were really everything for me with this one. It's just really spectacular. Really, really beautiful storytelling. And I'm so happy you made this movie, because I didn't know anything about this. And now I'm my mind is blown. So congratulations. Great job.